Monsters, Inc. has hidden details and Easter eggs lurking throughout, including one special secret which is infamous with Pixar fans. Want to know what it is? Let's peek behind the door and find out. Monsters, Inc. is a utility company in the monster world which siphons the screams of children in order to power the city. A plot point that seems more in line with a horror flick than a kid's movie. But in the hands of Pixar, I think we've learned that anything is possible. Take a look at the logo for the company. In the commercial, chairman of the company, Mr. Henry J. Waternoose III, voiced by veteran actor James Coburn, refers to Monsters Incorporated by its acronym MI. The logo is an M with an eyeball in the middle. Get it? M-I. Anyway, we follow MI's top scaring team, James P. Sullivan, performed by the indelible John Goodman, and his scaring coach Mike Wazowski, voiced by comedy great Billy Crystal. Did you know that this was the second time Pixar came calling for Billy Crystal? During the development stage of Toy Story, Crystal was at the top of the list to voice one of the lead characters in the movie. Can you guess which one? If you said Woody, you'd be wrong. Believe it or not, Pixar wanted Billy Crystal for the part of Buzz Lightyear, a role that, in retrospect, really fit Tim Allen like a glove. Crystal declined the offer but later regretted missing out on the opportunity. The filmmakers at Pixar were good sports about it and promised Billy a part tailored for his talents in future projects. I think it's safe to say they made good on that promise. As for James P. Sullivan, or Sully as he's commonly called, the role almost went to another Hollywood heavyweight, Bill Murray. The enigmatic actor, known for his work in Caddyshack, Ghostbusters, Groundhog Day, as well as a handful of films by auteur Wes Anderson, tested for the role and was all but guaranteed the part. But when the filmmakers found it difficult to get a hold of the actor, they took it to mean no from him and moved on. The Murray name would grace the credits of a Pixar movie later, however, as Bill's younger brother Joel would voice the character of Don Carlton in the Monsters prequel, Monsters University. By the way, did you know that an Easter egg is hiding in Sully's full name? The P stands for Pat. And if you know your history where animation is concerned, then you know that Pat Sullivan is the famous animator responsible for creating one of the most iconic animated characters to ever grace the screen, furry feline Felix the cat. Speaking of furry, when we're introduced to Sully, he's about to receive a rude awakening from his partner Mike. Look at his fur as he snores. Each individual hair is affected by his breath. This detail was accomplished with a program called PhysT, which stands for Physics Tool. When Monsters, Inc. first premiered, audiences had not seen detail like this in a CGI movie before. The technology is still in use today, even being utilized in the clothing textures and movement nuances of the characters in Pixar's Onward from 2020. At the time of Monsters, Inc., it took upwards of 288 hours to render a single second of Sully's individually animated hair strands. How many hairs are we talking? Try 2,320,413. PhysT was such a game changer, it even earned a place of honor in Monsters, Inc. as its very own Easter egg. As Mike gets his station ready for Sully's first scare of the day, take a look at the keypad as he swipes his card. There it is, top left. And if you're an animator yourself, maybe you notice there's another program hanging out on the keyboard. IKT, just below, stands for Inverse Kinematics Tool, a tool used to decipher the mathematics of complex objects as they interact with their environment. Ugh, math, my sworn enemy. Mike and Sully have an enemy in their workplace nemesis, Randall Boggs, who is number 2 on the boards and gunning for Sullivan's top spot. Randall is played by the always excellent Steve Buscemi. Funny enough, if it wasn't for Sully, Buscemi might not have landed the gig. John Goodman was reportedly a big influence in convincing the filmmakers to cast Buscemi. The two actors had come to know each other well through their collaborations with the Coen brothers. They featured together in 3 of the brothers' films, including Barton Fink, The Hudsucker Proxy, and most notably, in The Big Lebowski, where they played bowling buddies to the rug-avenging dude played by Jeff Bridges. Let this be a lesson. Make friends with your scene partners. True scene partners are pretty hard to come by in the world of animation since most performers are recorded separately and cut together after the fact. But in the case of Monsters, Inc., since Billy Crystal and John Goodman shared so many scenes together as Mike and Sully, it made sense to allow them the opportunity to record together and work off each other's performances in the moment. Steve Buscemi was afforded the same luxury when it came to his scene partner for the bathroom sequence. In the scene, Randall and his scare coach, Jeff Fungus, agonize over what to do about the dangerous human child they may have let loose on the monster world. Did you know Steve Buscemi's co-star in the scene is an icon in his own right? Fungus is performed by director, actor, and puppeteer Frank Oz. The name doesn't ring a bell? How about the name Grover, Fozzie Bear, Miss Piggy, Cookie Monster? And of course, let's not forget the most iconic of little green characters. No, not Kermit the Frog. That was Jim Henson. I'm talking about Jedi Master Yoda. Yup, all him. The great and powerful Oz. Funny enough, for all the characters Frank Oz has lent his voice to over the years, Fungus in Monsters, Inc. marks his first ever animated feature. Needless to say, it might have been pretty wild for Steve Buscemi to treat Oz's character with such disdain. At one point, when Randall realizes that his numbers still trail behind Sully's on the board, he threatens to put Fungus through the shredder. The shredder in Monsters, Inc. is a wood chipper used to destroy dead doors that lead to kids that can't be scared anymore. As it so happens, one of Buscemi's characters has seen the inside of a wood chipper firsthand. This brings us back to his work with the Coen brothers, when he played Carl Showalter in their Oscar-winning frigid kidnap caper film Fargo. Obviously, we can't show the wood chipper scene from that movie, so here's an animated octopus cutting up sushi instead. This particular octopus is a sushi chef at the ultra-exclusive Harryhausen's restaurant, where Mike takes the lovely Celia to celebrate her birthday. Celia is performed by actor Jennifer Tilly, whose voice is unmistakable in The Simpsons, Family Guy, and even Bride of Chucky for you horror fans out there. The name Harryhausen is an important one where movie monsters are concerned. The restaurant is named after film great Ray Harryhausen, who was the visual effects wizard that created Dynamation, a stop-motion model animation he used in monster movies Mighty Joe Young, Jason and the Argonauts, and It Came From Beneath the Sea. But hold on a second, let's go back to our octopus sushi chef. Notice anything interesting? There's really nothing octo about him, he has only 6 arms instead of 8. This is also a little wink to Ray Harryhausen. Our sushi chef is a tribute to the 6-armed octopus he created for It Came From Beneath the Sea. The creature is famously missing 2 tentacles due to budget constraints. Of course, there is no creature in Monsters, Inc. more terrifying than Boo, the adorable little girl who toddles into a monster world and Sully's heart. Of course, Boo isn't her real name. Sully named her Boo after witnessing her mad hide-and-seek skills. So what's her real name? Don't blink or you might miss it. Before she goes to sleep in Sully's bed, she shuffles through her drawings to show Sully the picture of her monster, who just so happens to be Randall. Back it up a bit and you'll catch her name written along the top of another drawing. There it is, Mary, which just so happens to be the first name of the voice of Boo, Mary Gibbs. Mary was only 5 years old when she recorded the voice of Boo. Needless to say, directing her took a completely different approach than the rest of the ensemble, we think. For one thing, it was hard even keeping her in the voice booth. The solution? The sound engineers decided to follow her around with a microphone and record her random speech and noises while she played. While Mary's performance took a little extra doing on the filmmaker's part, one voice in particular came easier than anyone thought. During the beginning stages of post-production, in order to get an idea of how the pace and tone of a scene will play out, editors like to use sound elements that will later be replaced by elements that aren't readily available yet. These early elements are known in the biz as temp tracks, which stands for temporary tracks, simple enough. Roz, the taskmaster sluggy secretary with a secret, has a voice that is comically grating to the ear. The temp track for Roz was voiced by story supervisor Bob Peterson. But Bob's slow, nasally pinched performance was so effective that the filmmakers decided to just keep it in the film. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Of course, if whatever it is protocol and it is broken, you can bet it'll be Roz who's on you like slime on a slug. One important protocol code that strikes fear into the hearts of the employees at Monsters, Inc. is the dreaded Code 2319. A code that scarer George Sanderson falls victim to during a workplace mishap. Well, several workplace mishaps. Poor guy. Because children are supposedly deadly toxic, scarers are not supposed to come into physical contact with them or their stuff. If they do, protocol for Code 2319 goes into effect, and the CDA comes to decontaminate the environment and the scarer. George's first infraction is caused by a white sock stuck to his fur. So what's the significance to the code number? Did you happen to notice that the 23rd letter in the alphabet is W and the 19th is S? WS equals white sock. 2319 seems to be a new Pixar in-joke, just like A113. A113, we haven't come across that number yet in this video, have we? Have you seen it? Well, keep your eyes peeled. But like I was saying, 2319 is its own little Easter egg in another movie. When Joe and 22 used the subway to visit Joe's mom in the 2020 Pixar movie Soul, take a look at the train number. That's right, 2319 leaving the station. Of course, we already covered the appearance of Mike and Sully in a Cars version of Monsters, Inc. during the end credits of that movie, not to mention Mike featuring as a piñata in Coco, but there are other movies where Monsters, Inc. Easter eggs lurk. During the Forky rescue mission at Second Chance Antiques in Toy Story 4, there's a moment when Duke Kaboom is being pursued by Dragon the cat. You're gonna have to be quick for this one. Look just above the cat's rump in this shot and you'll see a familiar sight. a canister from the scare floor. Another fun Easter egg can be found in the end credits of Finding Nemo. There's actually a lot of fun underwater hijinks going on around the credits as they roll, but be on the lookout after Nemo and Squirt seahorse around together. See what I did there? I'm not sure what circumstances brought him here, but that's Mike Wazowski doing a little swim-by in scuba gear. Actually, Finding Nemo was the next Pixar feature film to come out after Monsters, Inc., and Pixar really wanted to get the subliminal plugs anchored into our subconscious with a boatload of hidden Nemo Easter eggs. First off, not to spoon-feed you here, but near the end of the movie when Sully brings Boo back to her room, she tries to get him to play with a Nemo toy. Of course, while we're here, we might as well address that she also tries to give him her Pixar Luxo ball and a Jessie doll. Jessie, of course, made her debut in Pixar's Toy Story 2. Boo also gives Sully her teddy bear, which really kind of explains why she's so attached to Mike's teddy bear, Little Mikey. It also just so happens to be the same kind of bear as the one in the opening shot of the movie. But back to the hidden Nemos. This next one is a little harder to spot. When Mike, Sully, and Boo finally get the jump on Randall, they literally pitch him into the human world. Look inside the room when Mike Wazowski opens the door, and there he is, that familiar little clownfish mounted on the wall. Another fun bonus Easter egg, we're looking at the interior of a trailer home. But when we get a good look at the exterior, did you happen to catch what's parked alongside it? That's right, the Pizza Planet delivery truck from Toy Story. You're a real pro if you got this one. Back at Harryhausen's, check out the panel on the right, just behind the not-so-octopus sushi chef. Yep, there he is again. Kinda hard to spot there when you don't know what you're looking for, and honestly, most people didn't when they saw Monsters, Inc. in theaters back in 2001. Thankfully, we live in the age of streaming. What a great time to be alive. Of course, before there were hidden Nemos, before even A113, there were hidden Mickeys, and you can find one in the opening credits of Monsters, Inc. As the feel-good jazzy music is playing and all the random shapes become a door, pay close attention when the door opens the very first time. Did you catch it? It's not a full Mickey, true, but look at the green truck on the bottom right corner of the closet and you'll see that it has a Mickey hat painted along its side. We'll count it. That snappy jazz music, by the way, was composed by Randy Newman. Monsters, Inc. is a milestone for Randy because after 16 Academy Award nominations for his music work in film, he finally nabbed his first win. Up to that point, he was jokingly referred to as the Susan Lucci of the Oscars. Susan Lucci was a daytime soap opera actor who was nominated 21 times for a Daytime Emmy, but never won the award for Outstanding Lead Actress until 1999. During his acceptance speech, Newman jokingly remarked, "I don't want your pity," which garnered a house full of laughs. In Monsters, Inc., Sully comes to realize that an alternative power source may be the answer. Instead of harnessing children's screams, the company shifts to harnessing children's laughter. And when they do, Sully becomes the coach and his little green buddy Mike gets the limelight. After Wazowski's first joke of the day, he's literally already filled his daily quota, which would be impressive if laughter wasn't 10 times more powerful than screams. Did you happen to notice the yellow canister in the scene? It's an absolute tank compared to the scare canisters used before it. While we're here, there's actually another super duper deep cut for you Billy Crystal fans. If you caught this reference, I want to shake your hand. Take a close look at the little dance Mike Wazowski does when he celebrates his successful comedy bit. Did you notice what he does with his mouth? This is referred to as the white man's overbite, a term Crystal himself gives as an example of in another hit movie he starred in, the 1989 romantic comedy smash hit, When Harry Met Sally. But I digress. The switch to laughter energy rewrites the rules for Monsters, Inc. Literally. Did you happen to see the poster hanging in Mike and Sully's cube? You're gonna want to pause for this one. It reads, 10 rules for comedy. And if you got the time to read through them all, you'll be rewarded with some monstrous silliness. There are enough extra Easter eggs and details for Monsters, Inc. to fill up another laugh canister, and we probably will. But we know there's one more hidden detail you're dying to see uncovered. The appearance of the famed A113. Pay close attention because if you blink, you just might miss it. A113 is… we don't know. The truth is, nobody seems to. Remember when I mentioned the one secret that marks Monsters, Inc. in infamy? This is it. A113 is nowhere to be found. Fans have agonized over this fact for a while now, especially because there are instances in the movie where the reference is so close. It's as if Pixar is toying with us. The trash compactor is XP13, One of the CDA agents' number is 11-2, One of the humongous pillars in the room full of doors reads A13, the madness! I'm okay. We're okay. So A113 is unaccounted for, but that doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't exist. If you find it, please let us know in the comments. I hope you liked this video and found some cool new details you haven't seen before in Pixar's Monsters, Inc. Make sure you subscribe to Movielogic for more daily movie facts, trivia, and Easter eggs.